Hi, friends. Welcome to A Feeling Life. This is episode 6. My name is Jonathan.
I'm Yasmin, and this is What is Love?
So, this is part 2 of a sort of a smaller grouping we're working on. And tonight we're going to be talking about love and its role in healing.
And love really does tend to bring out healing in a relationship. We often think of love as something that is warm and comforting and supportive, and there's often a lot of energy in the beginning of a relationship. And then as time goes by, being loved, feeling accepted for who you are, bonding with another, feeling a close friendship starts to reveal the needs and the feelings around love, particularly over life.
I think we all know about the honeymoon period in a relationship, and a lot of people actually think that this is somehow how it's always meant to feel. But those of us who've been in relationships know that that changes. But we're not often taught about why it changes, and one of the main reasons it changes is that love is a poultice. Those of you who don't know what a poultice is, it's kind of a healing tool where you place herbs or selves, and it draws the infection out. And so I've always seen that love draws from us what doesn't feel loved. And this is one of the natural consequences of that sort of early stage of a relationship, as Yasmin said, where
Yeah.
those parts of us that want to be part of the party, they want to be part of that good feeling,
They want to be loved also.
but we don't often feel good about them. And we often do what we can to hide them, to keep things kind of hidden out of the way. And we start kind of forming these patterns in relationships, which ultimately can lead to some very unhappy experiences.
And we've often learned these things over life, perhaps quite young and within the family, within the dynamics of family, and amongst peers.
And so, what love does, it says, this too can heal. This too wants to be part of what is more you. And a good relationship is when two people will kind of look at each other and go, well, how can I help you be even more of yourself? But the challenge is, do you feel worthy of that?
And it usually reveals itself in vulnerability when there are needs that we haven't been conscious of, or we say things, do things in the hope that the other person understands or just knows without saying. So that can get tricky because we do need to express ourselves. And we've all heard about love languages, but when we're looking at love and the way that it supports our healing in a relationship, we're actually really connecting with the feeling that we generate and create with each other in a partnership.
And of course, the things that sabotage that, and that's what is the growth. And we don't get taught about this. We don't get taught about a relationship being about growth, about this healing, this opportunity to discover more of ourselves. And I know I am eternally grateful for what I've learned about myself in our journey. And I know that that doesn't mean it's been easy, but it does mean that if each partner is actually willing to remember the feeling that that generation that Yasmin mentioned, that connection creates, then there's a way back again when those elements of ourselves, those wounds, rise to the surface.
When we look at relationships from that sense of in love, I accept you, there's the invitation to accept not just the good and the easy, but aspects of ourselves and each other that are challenging and that we may not perhaps reveal in life and in friendships, but does inevitably emerge in an intimate relationship.
It's one of those reasons why so often I hear it. I know Yasmin does
Mm.
too, and actually Yasmin even presented it to me many years ago,
Uh,
where that expression of other people get the best of you, and where somebody might be out socially and they are more engaging with relative strangers and seem to be sort of shining a bit brighter than they are with their partner, and this can be really hurtful for a partner because you kind of sometimes left a little bit in the shadows and don't understand why the person you're going home with is actually spending more time giving their energy to other people.
in relationships, we're often feeling a lot of acceptance in the beginning, and over time we might do things, say things, and feel less accepted for those wounds or those vulnerabilities. So we will often keep looking for acceptance where we don't have to reveal
Yeah.
some of those things to people that we meet or interact with. So we often fill up on
Yeah.
that acceptance. And yet, in a loving relationship, love, when we truly cultivate and maintain each day those connections with each other in terms of how we express and communicate, there's going to remain a place of acceptance, a place where we can say how we truly feel, and we can hear and feel each other more accurately.
The but part, of course, is that it does ask each of you to be conscious of that and willing to know that you can come back to that space where, unfortunately, what too often can happen is that the kind of the more readily available good feeling that can come from engaging with others for a kind of a quick fix, because you don't have to revisit those words of wound and those words of criticism that it may have exchanged in the space of the wounding or the growth, can sort of prolong the lack of healing. So we really encourage you to really look at that space of vulnerability that a loving relationship invites in you, whether you're single or whether you're with somebody, because it really is the doorway into something that is so rich and so powerful. And I can pretty proudly say that after
25 years together.
Okay, 25 years, where we really have had to be in a conscious relationship. You know, it's right from day one, bang, we were right in there with each other. And it's really shown that love can actually just get richer. It can get deeper, but not in that sort of original, well, for us it was about 6 months, wasn't it, romance side.
The honeymoon.
The honeymoon period. Not from that place. It's something that's even bigger than that and more fulfilling than that, and certainly the romance is a part of it. So think for yourself, consider for yourself where you come up against the energy that pulls back from both your partner and from yourself, because that's going to be where your growth edge is.
And it is a very conscious choice that you're making constantly. So it asks you to again feel what keeps love in your heart, what allows you to communicate and express lovingly in life with your partner. And it's not always about loving language as in I love you all day long, although that's always nice. It's actually in kindness and thoughtfulness, all the different ways that love expresses care and concern for the feelings of your partner. And this is how love heals, because when we feel cared for, when we feel listened to, when someone speaks in such a way that we feel our vulnerable moment is supported, it's not all alone, we're less likely to hide it. We're less likely to not say it and swallow the words. So love itself can be very, very healing because it's giving you an opportunity to experience your vulnerabilities in a way where they're not shameful or they're not something to hide away.
I think here is where we had the proviso or the warning, is that when you get to this place where you really consciously decide this needs to heal and you want an even, you're in touch with that need for something deeper and richer, there comes a sort of period where when you start expressing how you feel, there can be a bit of I suppose, a backwash from your partner, because it can often trigger their needs as well. And that's why people end up in that situation of that sort of what about meism, which can be actually really destructive to a relationship. So
yeah, which can become a little bit competitive, perhaps.
it does with those needs. Yeah.
And a good thing to remember is that if someone close to you is very vulnerable and you can feel that they just need some loving care, that's their turn. And although it may stimulate things in you, it's important to allow that person to receive, because that is very healing for them. And it's very good and loving and healing for us to be able to give. It doesn't mean you have to put yours aside, and it doesn't mean you have to join them. in that moment of, oh, well, here's mine as well. And it's not a competition about, me too.
No.
In any way.
But it will get triggered, and this is what you've
Yeah.
got to be consciously taking care of, because those patterns will steal from the feeling you're trying to create. So it's not just about the other; it's about the love. It's about what you're building between you, that you're looking to nurture and really and build from a sort of an ember into a blaze again.
As love heals in a relationship, and there will be daily opportunities for this to happen, you get to relax and be yourself. And when we feel that self is accepted by someone and loved, we relax and we come forward even more into our energy. We get to express ourselves in a way that is very nourishing.
Perhaps you could say that's one of the greatest needs in a relationship from those early stages of the excitement and the feeling of connecting with someone, is the feeling that we're being seen. I know when I first met Yasmin, my absolute conscious thought was, my God, someone gets me, and someone knows me, and I want to be friends with this person. And that was
me too.
Yeah.
Felt that.
Yeah, and that was, that's a real moment of sort of magnetism that so much more can be built from.
So daily, give yourself permission to feel the love you have in a relationship. Doesn't matter whether it is a friendship if you don't have a current intimate relationship, but allow yourself to give of yourself, to listen, to care. Watch and see the difference that your love makes, because that's the empowering part of this.
Yeah.
Is that your love heals, and it heals you as you use it and express it.
So there's so much more we can talk to you about this, and this is why we're doing this series on what is love, because it's a vast and glorious and wondrous subject that can make such an amazing difference to your life, to those you care about's lives as well.
And if you're looking to find someone to have an intimate relationship with, in practicing this, I promise you're going to really draw to you someone who can meet you in that way.
So until next time, we hope that this space of staying in a feeling energy, connecting to this very powerful space of your heart and how it communicates everything in life, including the growth, is something that supports you over this time.
Take care and let love be there for you.